Excellent. Awesome. All right. So, it's our Silver Circle meeting, and we are going to talk a little bit about it's just December 2nd, but about December sales, how to have December sales. December is typically a slower, quieter month. One of the things that I had looked at, I started tracking my monthly sales like in a separate spreadsheet a couple of years ago. And I saw dips, like big dips, and December was one of those kind of big dip months. And November's not great for me, but December was a really low point. And so on those kind of lower sales months, I look to see like what's an extra thing I could do? Do I need to run a promotion? Do I need to run a class or a special class? What do I need to do? So she had a few ideas. So one of the things that she does is she does a customer coupon and she includes it in her mailed Christmas card. She offers 20% off a single order that they place December 20th to January 3rd. So that really is in that super low, low time when people aren't ordering. They have to
That's a great
email
idea.
her. Yeah, they have to email her the order and pay for it through like PayPal or Venmo or some other way. She said, or you can refund them the 20%. She doesn't require a minimum order, and it's 20% off product, not tax and shipping. And she sends out a lot of these, and they're a lovely gesture of, as she says, goodwill and generosity. The vast majority are not redeemed, but she gave them a gift, right? And so she feels like she gave them a gift. She's done her part. She includes it in the Christmas card that she would send. And she does not give it to her in-person customers because she does something different for them. For her in-person customers at her monthly card class, which is free with a purchase, she's already giving a gift to everyone who attends. And she bribes them like you want to come to the December class because I'm going to give you a free class, but only if you come to the class, right? So she's kind of bribing them to come. Because a lot of times in December, people won't show up to classes because they're so busy, right? And there's so much other things going on. So this year she's giving them the Pokey tools that Pat Works makes. And normally those are reserved for like her card club members, but she's saying it doesn't have to be a Stampin' Up thing. You could do tiered gifts, you could make it a special for Christmas, you could, make something for them. But if you have an in-person business, that's definitely a nice thing you can do. But if you don't, like I usually mail a Christmas card to everybody. I think including this coupon is a great idea. There's a couple of years where we had had discussions about, do you use the Christmas card as a sales opportunity or not? And sometimes we lean towards not, but I think that this year if ever, we're having to kind of incentivize sales a little bit more. So I thought that was good. A couple other ideas that she had for December sales were adhesive packages. So a lot of demonstrators do these where they get a little bag and they stuff it with a bunch of adhesives, and it's like all adhesives are cash and carry, right? And so they make great gifts for crafty friends. You could add a cute word or a logo. I've done it where I've stamped the canvas totes with like seashells and stuff, since that's kind of my motif. Make a cute tag. You have to show this item in order to sell it. They need to see this. So it's not very good in a, esoteric, like, oh, here's an adhesive kit, like you need to take a picture of what it looks like or take a little video or a hyperlapse or something and show them what they're going to get. Um, but lots of folks love a great opportunity to stock up on some adhesives. And you could, give them one item for free, or, you could do, they can pick the adhesives they want in there. And once they hit a certain amount, you give them some free dimensionals or something. Um, I see some people who do it with a standard set of adhesives, like it will include A, B, C, D, E, and other people who say, pick what you want, right? You might want 5 green glues and no snail or whatever, right? No seal plus. So, you could do it whichever way you want, but just pick a path on that. And then her two other ideas were
So,
some DS.
so
Oh
then
yeah,
if they want it, then you give it, how do you get it to them? I mean,
you're gonna have to ship it. So
because you were saying to put a tag on it or something, or so it
yeah,
would come to me first and then I would package it and mail it to them?
yeah.
Okay.
And we have a lot of cash. I mean, like I carry adhesives, like I do cash and carry adhesives. So you might have a stash of adhesives that, you've already, that you can pluck from, so you don't have to order a fresh batch. Like I have a whole bucket that I have. And I put them out at like stamp camps and retreats and stuff. So, I mean, adhesives are something that we can have on hand and sell to whomever needs them. Um, and we talked about this at one other point. The silicone mat is also a cash and carry item. And I like didn't believe Candy, but it is a cash and carry item. I was like, there's no way the silicone mat's a cash and carry item. And she's like, it is. I was like, what? That's crazy. So anything that's cash and carry is something you could run like that, you know? Um, and we were actually having a whole discussion about like cash and carry, the cash and carry policy. Um, but there's actually like we were discussing this. She thought there was a cash and carry category in the store. And so we were supply items, cash and carry. There is a cash and carry category in the online store, which is fascinating.
Hmm.
Let me show you because I think this is interesting enough to show you because I couldn't figure this out. I was like, how does she know it's that this is cash and carry? So if you go to menu and you go to shop products and you scroll down, there is literally a cash and carry category, which probably makes no sense to customers, by the way. Like that is solely for our purposes. But when you
They probably
look,
can't see it. It's probably just in the demonstrator view.
that's a good question. I've never checked it to see, but yeah, that would make more sense. So kits, of course, are cash and carry. All of our kits are, including the workshop kits from like the scrapbooking kits that we got. Um, but if you scroll down, or the other way that's probably easier to sort the cash and carry is to sort by low price to high price, which is always easier. So dimensionals, glue, seal plus, the silicone craft mat, clear envelopes, our note cards and envelopes, foam adhesive sheets, memories and more, which is fascinating that that's cash and carry, basic white note cards and envelopes, assorted adhesive sheets, the gold ones, quite a bit actually is cash
Oh,
and
there's a
carry.
lot.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then all the kits are cash and carry. But quite a bit of adhesives. And you could split this up, so you could say like you'll get, half a pack of the foam adhesive strips or, things that are easily to split. The black dimensionals have a sheet of like big and small. So you could easily split that up. So think about, kind of price it. I can show you. Um, I have this always available. Um, it's not used often, but I always have it on my website. I have an adhesive kit that's always for sale. I probably need to check the price of it. But I do, it has dimensionals of both sizes, Tombow and glue dots. And that's what fits in my little canvas tote that I have that I like stamp and send to them. Um, but it's a nice little, I don't do like a full thing of dimensionals. I think the pricing, I think I do like a sheet of each or something.
Do you
But
make any money
I
on
always
it?
have this available. So, uh, well, I mean, I make product sales, right? So, I mean, if we're looking for, like I don't know what they are. I mean, it's been forever since glue is 6, right? Like a sheet of dimensionals is like $1 and change, so like 6, 7, 8. And then the glue dots are 7, so that's like 15, 16 plus shipping is probably like 5. So I probably make like $4, on each one. Okay, but it's a nice gift. And something that if someone's looking for something to purchase, it's a reasonably priced option. So it's just one of the ideas that Candy had in her notes, and I thought that was good thing to bring up. Her last two ideas for ways to get December sales, one was a DSP sample if they place an order right now. So giving them a 2 by 2 inch or 3 by 3 inch sample of the new, you could do online exclusives, spring catalogs, celebration, you could kind of pick, but people love samples of paper. They're cheap to mail because you're just giving them a small piece. And then they're going to get a small sample and they're going to be ready to order full packages in January. So I love that idea, and I think that's a great ordering incentive. Um, and then the other thing she mentioned was live selling. So doing a Facebook Live and offering various items for purchase. You could show the adhesive packet. You could show off sets of cards. If you have things from craft shows or demonstrations that you've done, make and take packets that you want to get rid of, like from past classes. But she said the key, of course, with the live selling is to let people know. And she made the analogy with QVC. She's like, QVC is still an incredibly popular channel, and you can be QVC for your customers. And then she said it's not too late to offer a tag class or a holiday scrapbook class. You could do them in person, or if you don't want to ship out kits, you could just give them tutorials for an extra project with the tag kit, or maybe an extra layout with the scrapbook kit. So just some ideas, and then offering a class during the first week of January. If you offer it early in January, then that means you'll need to purchase product in December, and that will help your December sales. So just some ideas, some things to think about in terms of, how do you want to incentivize folks to place orders this month? What can you do to get them excited about celebration? And how can we get them ordering now and not waiting until celebration, right? So I love the idea of the little DSP sampler from Celebration, because I think that's an easy thing that we can do. And even if it's a small piece, they'll still be very excited to get it. So, and you can easily tuck that in a thank you card. So, any other ideas for December sales, December ordering?
Because you have two events happening, or one event still, and how hard was that to get initially, to have it in mid-December?
Yeah, so for me in December, so I still do senior center classes in December because they still want to craft in December. And I do a craft fair in December. And then I have my open studio that I'm doing in December. And then I used to do a thank you card class between Christmas and New Year's. That was really popular for quite a few years, where I would focus on thank you cards because we always need them. And there's usually a nice set in the, annual catalog that maybe we haven't touched yet, or, one in the holiday catalog. And then for the past 3 years, I've done the 12 Days of Christmas, which is a special class that I offer. And it's really geared to try to get sales at the end of December, mid-December, because I'm actually some of those things I bought like in November, but it's so that I am active as a demonstrator, but I pre-record all the videos. So I pre-record each video. People pay a set price for the class. They get one package to open each day for the 12 days after Christmas. I wrap them, and one of them is a stamp set, but that I usually have like gathered up during celebration. But then the other items are small things. Like it could be something that I'm teaching a technique with, like a silicone craft mat or a blending brush, or sometimes they're non-Stampin' Up! Items. This year I'm going to include like a white gel pen and talk about how to use that with like crumb cake cardstock and kind of what you can do with that. So small gifts. And then each day I do a small video and I talk about the gift, and then I talk about, and then we usually do about 6 cards over the 12 days. So they don't make a card every day. But they get a couple supplies, make a card, get a couple supplies, make a card. We kind of go back and forth. So, and so, yeah, I mean, I think that class has been popular. It could be better. I would love to have more people taking advantage of it. I'm looking at the shipping deadline and trying to make a decision about when I need to cut it off this year. But I cap it. So I only have like X number of sets that I've earned from celebration. So I cap it and I say, okay, I can only take 12 people, or I can only take 10 people, or however many sets I was able to gather. And that's one way to keep the cost down for that event, so that I am getting more profit out of it
Okay.
because they were free. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, I think that there's, you know, especially for those of us who have birthdays in December, there's a lot going on, right? My mother-in-law and I both have birthdays in December. And there's a lot going on for everybody, right? There's parties and things to go to and stuff. But for some people, there's not that much going on. And so trying to fill the space for those folks, right? And trying to make sure that we're serving everybody. There's a lot of people for whom our class is the only time that they get to meet with people or do something crafty or get out of the house, or, so we want to make sure that we're still providing those opportunities throughout the month, so, and I think, Candy had some good ideas on how to do that and how to hopefully incentivize some sales. And then we are going to get the last chance list, which is exciting. So I'm hoping tomorrow.
That's
We'll get that
tomorrow, right?
tomorrow. Yeah, we should get that tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 3rd, right?
Yep.
So, what does that look like? How do you use the last chance list? Well, hopefully you have some samples from things that are on the last chance list. So it's a great opportunity to showcase those things and say, did you like this gingerbread card? You might want to get the stamp set because you're not going to be able to get it, right? Like, so showing samples of things that are going away is always a great strategy, right? It's a good opportunity to take stock of what we have and what maybe you haven't used yet. If there's something that you're like, oh darn, I hadn't gotten to that, let me get to that. And then, how, like, maybe this last chance thing, maybe you want to email customers that coupon, and maybe you incentivize the sales now. You don't limit it till December 20th, I think for me, that would be my temptation, is I would probably say, I'm going to run it during the last chance sale and try to get those sales early in December for me, just so I can I like to turn off. I know that not everybody does do that, but like I do like to kind of unplug for a couple of days and really enjoy the holidays and not worry about my Stampin' Up! Business. At least give me a week off, right? So so for me, I think I'd rather have those sales at the beginning of the month, and do that. And then the other thing is, it's not too late. If people want to buy kits for gifts, I mean, highlighting our kits as gift options, they are fantastic. We have some really amazing kits right now. The watercolor kit is really cool with the watercolor pencils. The new journaling kit for the girls, that's kind of like pink and it's really soft. It's pretty. I think it's for women, but I think it would be great for teen girls. There's just a couple of kits that are really, really fabulous right now. And I think they have a lot of appeal. So, maybe that's something else that you can think about promoting. If you have one of the kits, showing it off talking about it, why you like it. I think that's important. Any other ideas for December sales? Questions, comments, concerns?
I don't have, well, I think my sales for the quarter are good, so I'm not really focused on that. But you know how you're doing the open studio, if I can ask you about that.
Yeah.
So I'm having some ladies over actually that that I do the class with at the retirement community.
Yeah.
They're going to come over, and I told them, we'll bring all your treats, because I did a show there a week or two ago before Thanksgiving, and I had all my Christmas treats out and sold cards, and I was really surprised at how many cards I sold, like 25.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was kind of crazy. But anyway, so I told them, well, why don't we get together at my house? And there's like 4 ladies coming over, and I said, bring your treats and any paper that you're interested in using. But how do you, I know you charge like a flat fee, and I know I've discussed it in the class I do before, but I really haven't kind of reiterated it. So what if they come over and they want like 5 sheets of my crushed curry or whatever? Do you sell individual sheets like in addition, or do you just include that as your 10 unless they get carried away and
Yeah.
then charge them? How do you do
So
that?
that's what I do. So I think cardstock, I don't know. I remember looking and like 24 sheets. I
It's
think it's like,
40 sheet,
how much is it?
48 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents.
Go with whatever the retail is.
I
And
just do
I buy it at the discount, but then if you add tax and shipping back in, you're probably still saving like a few percent. So really, if I just charge them whatever the retail is divided by the number of sheets, which is 48 cents a sheet, then
I
I'm
just do 50 cents a sheet. So,
well, yeah.
yeah, so like I charge them $10 to come over, and I tell them that they'll get their $10 back if they place an order. So an order is different than like using
Right.
supplies, right?
Yes.
So if they want to place an order, great. Most people don't place an order. Some folks will pick from my kit collection over in the corner. Like they'll go dig through the pile and pick a kit, and I'll be like, all right, great. You owe me the difference, But yeah, I just let them for that $10. I kind of think like, okay, if you want 5 sheets of crushed curry, great. You need some envelopes, whatever. You need, like within reason, right? But then if they
Right.
start to like rack it up, then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And I let them know like it's 50 cents a sheet, so I'm happy to give you 5, 10 sheets, whatever.
Right.
But probably beyond 10 sheets, I would start to, be like, all right, let's look at this. Nobody abuses it, you know. And if anything, people are more likely to like, oh, but let me pay you for that too, like they don't want to extend their place. And then I do have cards. My card rack is up, and I do sell cards at the open studio too. People will come over and start rifling through the cards and pick out cards and stuff too. So generally people, are paying me more money that day because they're buying a kit or buying some cards, or, I need a pack of envelopes, or I need some adhesives. I've got adhesives out,
Well, that's what I was hoping, because actually when I do and this is, nobody else does this, but when I do my class at the Discovery Village there, they use my adhesives. So I'm hoping to get them all getting their own, like putting kits out. I have them all kitted up. I've mentioned it before in class, but no one really jumped on it. And I've even said before that every time I go to craft and I take a lot of classes and go to events, I always have to bring my own stuff. No, so, but I don't know if that's really sinking in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that Kathleen and I had this conversation because she was having the same problem, and she just finally had to say, you know what, guys, either you bring your own stuff, or I have these like kits that you can basically rent. And so she would charge them like a $5 rent on like a kit.
Oh, wow.
And they could use like an adhesive kit while they were there.
Right.
And so they quickly caught on that they should probably just buy their own. So,
Or
uh,
price of my class.
right. That's also a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and that is unique. I do not pay for adhesives for either one of those classes. I'm walking into a new senior center probably next week, and I'm gonna have to figure out what that, every one of them, the arrangement is different. So
Right. Right. Like these ladies, I mean, I'm getting a really steady group now, like of 7. And but sometimes, other ones that haven't been there come back, or they miss a month and then somebody else new comes, and so it's kind of a little rotating, but I think I've got a solid 7 going on.
yeah.
Yeah, and I know some don't craft otherwise, just during my class.
Mm.
I don't know if I can really expect them to make that investment, or like an adhesive package for $25 or whatever it is that I come up with.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, honestly though, what do they need beyond like a Tombow and a glue
Right,
dot and a dimensional, right? Like, I mean,
exactly. But I have like in there, I'd have the little bag, and I put in the adhesive eraser from
the
uh,
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree, yeah. And then I have, well, yeah, dimensionals, the glue. Tear and tape, maybe that might make it go up. So, but it's the full little group
Mhm.
of necessities.
And I think that, you have to kind of feel it out and see how much do you think you're going through,
Yeah,
and is it time for, you to raise your price, or is it time for them to, you know,
make an investment. But I
mhm,
think this Saturday, though, I will put out, like you were saying, the cash and carry items.
totally. Yeah, because
Those-
you might be surprised. They might be like, "Oh yeah, I like that tape. That was fun. I'll use that. Let me get one of those,"
yeah, yeah. And they've used them all, because in class I make them use different things, but I always say, use what's comfortable for you. However, no, this one's
Right,
choice on this project.
right. Yeah.
Have things kind of grouped and laid out, and I have plenty of adhesives extras,
Yeah.
plus the kit. So I could put those out, and that might be a good thing. So they
Yeah.
could bringing their own.
Yeah, I think that's great.
But
Uh,
own folders out, I have everything. The scissors, I bring everything. So they're not wanting for anything when they come to my class. Pokey tools, the whole bit. Yeah.
yeah.
Alcohol wipes. Yeah.
Oh, you're full service, Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You can come teach my class. I'm not that full service. Sometimes I forget envelopes, like things happen.
yeah.
Well, good. Other questions, thoughts, ideas? I know we've also got the promotion with the new paper, that recolored paper, that is, I actually really enjoyed the originals of all these, so it kind of is cracking me up.
That
Uh,
they kind of went over the top with the colors there.
yeah, it was a
They're
little wild. I was
the
like,
the in colors, trying to promote those, but
yeah, I was surprised by that. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Um,
yeah.
like I liked those papers the first time around, but okie dokie.
Yeah.
So I do kind of like the color theory one. It's nice.
That
Um,
the shades and hues or something.
yeah, that one's really pretty.
And
And
it's
then
got backgrounds. Yeah.
the one that had the black and white, I liked it as a black and white. So like,
Yeah.
I guess it's fine in the colors. But then the one, the whatever they did with that other one is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
The one that had the Blackberry Bliss, it was beautiful. Like that was
It was.
it was a really pretty paper originally. I have no
And didn't
idea.
it have gold in it too?
It did. It was a beautiful
Yeah,
paper. And they
it
just went banana
was.
boats on the recolor. That was not a good choice. I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
but
So
you
we've
know,
seen, y'all seen the new colors?
No, these are the in colors from last summer.
Oh, okay.
The
If
petunia pop and
Like
the,
what?
yeah, they're all yeah. Petunia,
it's this paper that they did. So they took, it's the new promotions, this special release paper that
Oh,
comes
you're
out.
down.
Yeah, it
yeah,
comes out tomorrow, I think. But
I
it's,
saw the little flags.
yeah, so like this was the original paper and this is what they
Uh,
recolored it, which is nice.
Okay, I saw
And
that, but
then
I didn't read it.
yeah, and then this is the original and this is how they recolored it, which is fine. And
Oh,
then this was the
okay.
original and it was really pretty and then they went weird. Maybe it's just
that's the one I was thinking.
Granny apple green.
Great.
yeah.
That's the one that went like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
That was a hard one for me. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna sell that.
Arf, yeah. No.
The original was gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
I mean, it's kind of hard to compete with the gold and I don't know. Like,
Gold
uh,
in it, just color.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one. I think
Mm.
that one's fine, but that's just a lot.
Yeah, it was the Refresh Beauty.
Refresh
Okay.
Beauty, yeah. Serene love and shades and hues, yeah. So, well, so
Mm.
again, if there is one you like, you could focus on one you like. You
Yeah.
can, showcase if you have old projects with the old paper. I mean, I don't know how long
Oh.
you guys keep projects around, but I actually think I might have just thrown out a project that I had made with that beauty paper. Yeah, it was kind of coming apart. It was like this little Thanksgiving thing that I used to put up every year. But yeah, I mean, if you want to show them, you can. You could. I know there's some folks who are doing a paper share with it,
Wow.
which I mean is a lot, but I'm not that inspired to do that, but maybe others are. I don't know. So, um, but yeah, so we'll just kind of hang on and see when we get this last chance list, and but hopefully, did you guys get a good idea today? Maybe something you want to try, something you want to do?
I think I'm gonna try the open studio thing, like you just said. Where I'm at for the winter down here in Tucson, I'm in a 55 and older community, and they like to craft, but they don't necessarily want to buy anything because they don't have a lot of space in where they live, and it's just their little winter home, and yeah. But I
Right.
thought, if I charge $10 for them to come over and make a card or two, and yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Kind
And
of.
then, and I had one lady that came over and she's like, I just want to make purple stuff. And I was like, okay, let's find some purple DSP. And so like we went
Yeah.
through my racks and we pulled out some purple sheets and we made a couple cards. And every time we do it, it's something different. Everybody's got a different thing they're working on, or one lady's like, I want to come. I really need to knock out some more Christmas cards. I'm like, okay, we could do that.
Good.
Last time we made 5,000 trees from that tree set. God, what's it called?
Decorative trees or the
Yes, the decorative
winter.
trees.
I love those dies. I don't have the stamps, but I love the dies and I have the dies.
Well, we went to town and the two women who came over wanted to play with it, and we started cutting trees and cutting some more trees and cutting some more trees. And I now have 25 like tree cards ready to go. Like I've got the DSP, the tree cut. I just need card bases and then I just need to like glue. But yeah, that was nuts. I don't think I've ever been that productive in die cutting in my life. Like that was a lot of trees. But it was fun and they loved it because they got to come play with stuff that they didn't have, but they'd been wanting to.
Mhm.
And that's awesome, and they had messaged me before and they said, well, we want to come. Do you have this or this? I said, I don't have this one, but I do have decorative trees. And they're like, all right, we're coming and we're bringing our paper. And so they came and they had all their papers to die cut, and it was great. It was really productive. And really fun to see all the combos and stuff. And so Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. Hey, Terry, there's a lot of things that, we can do to still encourage creativity, get people to gather. And Tammy, if you've got a couple kits, it doesn't hurt to have a couple kits, in a little bucket or a box or something for them to rifle through. And I'm impressed with the number of kits that I've sold between that and like some of the markets. So I'm gonna have to get a few more because one of my baskets is empty. So, which is great. So always a good thing. So, and then I don't know if you guys had noticed or paid attention, and somehow I missed it. Candy put on Southern Sweet Stampers a really useful tool. It's under the files, and it's let's see if I can find it.
The
Maybe it's not
tracker?
under it. Huh?
The tracker?
No, it's the 2025 product release schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
Figure out how to read it and what the numbers meant.
Yeah, so at first I was like, what is this document? And I don't know who put it together, but it's a good document. So it's in the files section, but basically it's, like
Well,
saying,
Easier to read than the bar chart.
right.
All
And
the
so it was like, okay, we're gonna get 2 kits each month, but then there's a couple where we're gonna get 3 kits, which that's exciting. Actually quite a few months where we're gonna get 3 kits. So, and I like having the date that the kits are gonna be released on. Like I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
And then, catalog launches. Okay, here's when we get the PDF. Here's when we can pre-order. Here's when it launches. Here's when it goes away. Like great to have these dates and be able to see this and see that cadence. Um, and then, catalogs are live at 1 p.m. Mountain. Demo pre-order starts at 12 a.m. Mountain, like very specific. And then the online exclusives, kind of looking at what those look like. And then the scrapbooking brochure that we're going to get. And so then you can also kind of look through and say, okay, well, so in December, we're going to get 2 kits and we're going to get this PDF of a scrapbook,
So where does the recolored paper fit in on this? Is that an online exclusive? What is that? Or
it's a very good question,
it's a thing because that's
I think it's an extra thing, and
Yeah.
I think that they just didn't know where to stick it. And so, this isn't everything, right? This is just what they've pre-planned, right? But they always talk about the fact that they want to be flexible. And so if they want to pop something else in, they can. But at least these are the things we know of, right? So, but yeah, so I thought it was a handy like list, and it was kind of helpful to kind of get my mind wrapped around where we're at and what's happening. So we will have 2 new kits available tomorrow, which is exciting as well. In addition to everything else, we know one of the kits will be the perpetual birthday kit, which is awesome. And we don't know, I have not seen a preview of the other kit, because the birthday card kit is in January. So who knows what the other kit will be tomorrow. That'll be exciting. Although I could probably just go look on the South Pacific website, and if nobody tells on me, then
I never thought of that. Yeah.
oh yeah, it's terrible. I can remember the URL. Sometimes it doesn't like you to go join or go look, but
Yeah, that is helpful, that product release. I brought it up on my computer.
yeah, I never I was
That's
like,
a
oh,
good
that's an interesting view. So, oh, I found it. All right. Do you want to know what the kit is? The other kit?
All right. A theme.
A theme, cherry blossoms.
Oh,
We had that before for Paper Pumpkin.
It it looks different than the one we've had in the past, but it's got some essence of that. So yes, so that's cute. And then that perpetual birthday calendar, which is gorgeous.
Mm.
Yes, if you ever want to go cheat, you can just go look at the Australian they're you know they work in the future, right? So they're like futurists, you know. So I always laugh because I'm like, wait, what day is it there? I don't understand. How is this working? Time travel has always been mysterious to me. So, but well, good. Okay. Well, I'll post the recording so that everybody can review some ideas for December sales. And we can maybe put some ideas that we had in the chat. And I'll put Candy's ideas in that discussion in the Silver Circle group. So she had just a list of ideas. So I'll copy and paste those over.
I have a
Cool.
question,
Yeah,
not
what's up?
about that, but has anybody else had any problem with the stamp and seal refills? Like them not working and rolling well?
I mean, there has been a problem for like the last 5 years.
I know. Well, at my class last weekend or before Thanksgiving, yeah, 3 of them, they started working and then they went haywire, and a couple of people said, "What am I doing wrong?" I said, You know, they weren't." And I said, "Just you have to just don't press too hard." But that's all I could really say. Somebody said, "I'm going back to the Walmart ones. I can't deal with this." I mean, they went through 2 of them that would not work correctly.
I mean, I would say one of the things you can do is you can contact Stampin' Up, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Stampin' Up will, like, if you can get them from them, I mean, so like I'll try to play rehab, like I'll look at them, I'll see what I can do to fix them. If they tear or they break, then I call Stampin' Up and tell
Yeah.
them, because that's what I'm seeing is that they're tearing and they're
They're-
breaking.
Yeah, they're not people like I got one that's up here where it's parting, and I mean I tried to fix it, and one I was able to fix, but
Yeah,
3 I was not.
I know. And that's so then I think we just need to hold the company accountable for that, you know?
Okay.
I
Um,
use both the Tombow and the seal. And sometimes it loops up and gets stuck. So then you have to open it and do the cranking. So
Yeah.
I realized that when I try to fix it, like go in and do my own little maneuver there and try to get the tape going right again. If it's too tight, you're going to get messed up every time again. So, and then yes, don't go too fast. If you go really fast too, that messes them up.
Mhm. That's why I told you need one person I did say you need to slow
Combina-
down a little bit.
Exactly. So it could be part user error, but also part, the pressure and putting too much
Yeah.
tension. Maybe it can tear that way too.
that's what I've
Yes.
seen is them pressing really hard and
Yeah.
then it breaks it.
Or
And
Uh-huh.
but I think for me, like because it's not like I hate selling a product that I have to try to be fixing
yes.
or be messing with. And that's why I'm sticking with the Tombow like 99% of the time.
That's
And
what I
that's
is the Tombow, but I'm saying even with that one, because everyone in my class uses them, and then their one isn't working, and then I'm like,
Oh,
Fix it.
I just use the liquid glue. Like
Oh,
I just
yeah.
So
I don't use
do you
the
recall why they even changed? Because this
So-
is definitely a more difficult unit.
It is.
to work
It's
with.
because our agreement with Tombow on the snail ran out. So we, we co-make thwe make with makers. So like this is Tombow's glue, right? But we we have a deal with them for the glue.
Mhm.
And Stampin' Up felt like I don't know on whose side they decided not to renew that deal, but that deal is not, and I don't know if it's because we thought we could do better, And we had that really good Seal Plus in the black container.
Before, yeah,
Yeah, and
like
then
the smoky gray.
mhm,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Talk about wanting that back. Yeah.
mhm. And I got one of the Close to My Heart glues just to see how that was, like one of their tape runners.
Mm-hmm.
And we could be at a place where Stampin' Up! Kind of takes a pause and says, okay, let's relook at our tape runner situation. But if nobody calls them and
They're not gonna know.
Think they're
right,
yeah.
exactly, because they
Yeah.
keep saying like, oh, it's fine, and I'm like, but it's not, because ask demonstrators how many we've chucked in the trash and just given someone a new one
Mm-hmm.
and said, we'll figure it out later, and we put it on our own dime. None
Yeah.
of the seals work for you. Yeah, I mean, Paulina, I know. And I think that sometimes Seal Plus is better for me. I've been using tear and tape a lot in class. I think tear and tape works every time,
Yeah.
Well-
So and it's interesting. So I noticed in the last couple of kits, Stampin' Up! Is including tear and tape in the kits,
Yeah.
which is interesting, instead of those devil dots, which
Yeah.
blessed be.
I hate those dots. I hate them.
I-
I hate them.
I know, I do too.
Tiny.
Bye, Tammy.
Hi,
But
Tammy.
yeah, those dots. And there are people who like them. There are people who are like, mail me your dots. I love them. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, please take my devil dots. But they've started including tear and tape in the kits, which is really interesting. So this
Okay.
last Christmas Wishes kit had a really large tear and tape in it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, I use the wet glue now because I know how to use it and I know how to use just a little bit.
So right. Yeah.
But if you're heavy-handed, it's not a great fit,
Yeah. Because it goes all
Right.
over.
And
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks are, heavy-handed, and that's why they're breaking the seal.
Because this was a brand new Seal Plus. I mean, I just opened it the day of class.
Yeah.
It's already.
And that's, bye, Paulina. Have a good night. Yeah, I would highly
night.
recommend
Okay.
calling them.
Yeah, that's on my
And
list for tomorrow,
yeah,
actually.
or send an email or chat them on the chat, if you don't want to be on the
Oh,
phone.
oh,
So I have
okay.
another concern. I'm struggling, and I'm pretty sure it's my cherry cobbler. It may be the Real Red, but I'm pretty sure it's cherry cobbler. I mean, I could put a brand new blade in, and about 10 cuts later, the cherry cobbler is just rough edged. I mean, do we have a different manufacturer for our papers? The other things, I'm making a really old blade and it slips right through the cherry cobbler, or maybe it's the Real Red. I'm going to reserve mine.
I thought I was having a problem with my blades because I am going through blades like crazy.
I am too. It's ridiculous.
Afraid. Yes. And I'm thinking I didn't cut like glitter paper and I didn't
Nope.
the cardboard, the chipboard
Nope.
stuff. So
Mm.
like what is going on? Yeah.
I don't know. It sucks though, and I'm fortunate to have one of those old Stampin' Up! Emery fat blocks. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
From long ago.
Yeah.
It's a small rescue, but it still isn't perfect because when I look at I use a lot of that stuff with my inchies, and I get in with my magnifying glass. It's like this is not acceptable, so now I have to start all over. And I
Yeah.
know that sounds like I'm complaining, but I don't think that the paper should not cut, and I don't think that I should have to use a sanding block on a brand new pad of paper with a maybe used 15-20 times blade. And I
Right.
do cut a lot, but the
I
other
mean,
papers aren't affected.
it's also something like if you're, I have seen a few reports of people with different cardstock concerns. So, I mean, it would be worth sending an email and just saying hey, I'm noticing a difference in
The
how
paper.
this paper is cutting. I'm getting a lot of rough edges. I'm using a new blade. I'm going through blades really quickly. And fine, blades are consumable. I get it, but they're not that consumable, right? So what does that look like?
Well, generally speaking, how often is everybody else changing their blades? Because I'm changing mine. I mean, I go through maybe I do cut a lot of paper, make no mistake, but not that much that I would go through two blades in a month.
And it's hard to say because like I use my Carl cutter for like my card class prep.
What's
And
that?
so that's my big cutter
Oh,
back
the big one.
here.
I get it.
Yeah.
Then
Do
I
you
read,
get precise cuts on that though, Melissa?
I wouldn't do inchies on it.
Okay.
It's great for
Yeah.
card bases.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Great for
better
quarter sheets,
bigger
but
piece of paper, not tiny strips.
no,
Can't
no,
get your finger under there to hold the paper or something like.
no.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did have to switch my blade because I was starting to get some shredding, and I thought, okay, I would consider it an acceptable amount of time, right? Um, and it's cutting fine now, but like if I start to see an acceleration of blade usage, right, then I'm gonna start to worry.
Well,
I haven't
if
changed.
anybody runs into that cherry cobbler situation, please just drop a note on wherever.
I mean, Terry,
Because I'd like to know
you
if it's
just need
just
to message them.
I need
Terry,
to message them, but I
just send
can't
them
be
an
the only
email.
one.
No,
Yeah.
and I don't think you need multiple people. Like you just need to email them your experience. You're a demonstrator. You've been a demonstrator for a long time, and something's weird. Maybe there was a bad batch. We don't know, right? I mean, they'll quality control stuff. I had a stamp tear on me. I haven't
Yeah.
had a stamp tear in forever. And
Wow.
I had a photopolymer stamp that just tore right in half.
Huh.
That's not good, I mean, and I was literally just peeling it off the block like I would any other one. I wasn't being forceful. I wasn't being, so I mean, there's quality control going on, all the time, but things happen. But I think you should message them. And if you still have the wrapper, do you keep yours in the
No, but thank
wrapper?
you for thinking that I'm that organized.
I know. I do keep mine in the wrapper. So, but they might be able to look and see like what your most recent order is and see if there's a batch number or something. Because we've had that. We've had ink pads that have had that issue. We've had, I mean, and it feels like we're having a batch issue with the seal right now too, because I feel like it had gotten better and then I feel like it got worse. And so, because I've had a couple that have busted out recently. So,
Okay, that's why I asked if anybody else had it.
yeah, I've had a few in classes that I've had to be fixing, and I fixed a few
Okay.
at retreat, and we had to trash a few at retreat. So of course I don't use it on the daily. So that's the other thing, right? Like I use the green glue and
The
and
tear and tape.
and then sometimes I use the old, the non-Stampin' Up. I'm a bad girl, Tombow seal.
Now I like that a lot, but I've done a couple projects and the seal is failing after a while.
It does.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, and all my stuff is stored at the same temperature, in my my bedroom here. It's not like it's in the basement or in the attic. So
Yeah.
Lisa, is that the regular stamp tape, or is that the
It's
strong one?
it's the blue
It's the old Tombow.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And this one, so Lisa, I had a project and I had them falling apart at a craft fair in front of my eyes, and I like melted, and I just had to I just pulled it all. I was like, nope.
I wonder if
I was
that
like,
in shipping too, where they're not having product at the right temperature. Like
yeah.
got
Well,
too hot and the
and
did something,
I think I've gotten used to how permanent the wet glue is.
which I love. Yeah.
And I think that now that I'm used to this,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want that,
Right. I use
Uh,
glue. I think I want to say it's cheaper in the long
mm,
because you use such a little bit and it goes so long.
I think so, honestly.
But then
And then
my
Paulina
whirl.
Paulina mentioned in the comments that she uses her guillotine, so her old Stampin' Up guillotine.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and a guillotine, self sharpens.
It does
So,
tons of sheets though.
yeah, I could usually get like 4 or 5,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, nothing like the Carl, but
I
you
did
know,
not know the guillotine self-sharpened.
it
Thank you for
does.
that.
It
I just
does.
kind of been saving it for good days.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're having issues, one of the things I've found that like kind of helps like re-self sharpen it, just to like give it a little zhuzh zhuzh, is to cut some foil. Take some aluminum foil and
Get
chop
out
some
of
aluminum
Dodge.
foil.
But the Carl's a wheel, right?
The Carl is a wheel.
Okay, but it doesn't run on a metal piece like the Caterpillar is self-sharpening because the blade hangs over the side and then
Right.
rub on that.
Yeah. And
Uh,
that's not how a Carl is, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean I've had the Carl for 2 years now and I just replaced the blade.
And you're happy. Yeah.
And I'm happy. It, you know, I mean, there's times when I'm like, yeah, that was crooked, you know, like gonna have to fix that, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most
How many
part,
pieces? How many
hi
pieces you
Noah.
cut it? How many
Yeah.
pieces you cut at a time?
For Carl?
Yeah.
Oh,
You can cut
I
a
have
whole SP pack, right?
I cut a whole pack of DSP
Right.
at one time.
one
Yeah.
time.
Well, that's beautiful.
It is
That just
beautiful.
that sounds like a miracle.
Well, they have different ones. So some cut like,
That's true.
there's some cut
I
14,
don't know.
or some cut 6 sheets, or yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
have
it
a
is-
rotary. I'll cut up to 4 because I'm afraid to do any more and ruin it.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I
I
should pull that
probably
rotary.
for cardstock, I probably cut 10 at a time,
Yeah.
12, 10 or 12.
Wow.
Yeah. But
That's
I'm prepping so much cardstock. Like I really need it, you know? Like,
your
and then
cuts.
for me, for the paper shares, like cutting those DSP packs,
Yeah.
I mean, I literally put the entire pack on there, plastic and all,
Right.
and psip, psip.
Lisa, are you using that same product?
Girl,
Yeah,
No.
I've never heard of it before.
it's the brand name. And I know a lot of people who have them and they swear by them. So I've been kind of doing research, and then between that and the Caterpillar, and then sometimes people talk about a blue one. I don't know what the blue one is. The
Hmm.
blue, or they just call it the blue one because I think the base is blue.
What's
but
the price point look like?
Carl, except the comments were that you couldn't do a really narrow piece, like a half an inch, because the thing's in the way where you can't put your fingers there and hold your paper.
Imagine.
That's what my understanding is. So
And the price point roughly?
This one's it's 90.
under 100.
Yeah, I just
big-
looked it up.
That's a bigger base, like 17 inches or something or 13 by 17 or something. And that one might be 120, or I think
I
might be-
didn't want the bigger one because I didn't want it
No.
to take up that much room on my desk. So I put the link in the comments. So this
now.
is the one that I got. So it's 12 by 14.
right.
And it says it has a 36 sheet capacity, but that's 36 sheets of like copy paper. Like, let's
Mm.
get real.
Yeah.
That's not 36 sheets of cardstock or
Cardstock.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Or 15 cardstock sheets. But
Yeah.
Cool.
pretty, because I just don't want it to go off where you get that angle. Like the guillotines, if you put too much pressure on them, it kind of pushes your stack, and then some of them might get a little crooked.
Yeah. I was really adept at my guillotine. Like me and the Stampin' Up! Guillotine were really good friends for quite some time. And I was pretty like, I had
Yeah.
a pretty good, cutting
I-
system, but
I can put in there. So I think going to a Carl is going to solve a whole bunch of that.
and Candy has one. I tried Candy's before I got one. And then Patsy got one. And then I think we got it for Patsy.
Yes.
And
present.
then because I had the guillotine, so I was like, I can cut multiple sheets, but she was still prepping for classes like on her little baby trimmer. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
my God, it's gonna take forever, And
That's-
so we got her the Carl for Christmas one year,
Mhm.
and then I got myself the Carl for Christmas one year. I was like, forget this.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put that on my list for today. Maybe there will be is there any special today? I'm gonna,
I mean, it looks like it's 36% off, but I don't know, like, it
Oh.
doesn't show that it's on sale, but
Cyber Monday thing.
yeah, I mean, it's
Cyber Monday.
$89. Like, I mean,
Oh.
that was cheaper than what I bought it for, so
Yeah.
I think I bought it for like 99 or something. Oh, George
that-
has this
For
thing.
that type of piece of equipment, yeah. Oh, so
I
I just
mean,
scan and cut a few weeks ago.
mm,
Yeah. I'm gonna play with that because I want to put DSP in there and then cut out stuff. And because I don't always necessarily buy the dies or do the fussy cut, and you don't have the dies for everything. But you know what it comes out beautiful on is you stamp a whole sheet of an image and it with black, just the black ink, and it does a beautiful cut on those.
That's what a scan and cut does?
Yeah, so it scans your paper and then you can give it a like a distance around it, a little buffer, so it has the little white edge around it. And then you just kind of look at your screen, and it's on the machine is a little bitty screen, and then you can edit right there and then just cut. And then it's kind of like a Cricut, but it also scans and has a little window on it where you can touch screen and edit.
Okay, time out. I knew that it scanned stuff and cut it, but it cuts all of them on one sheet,
Yeah.
not one at